So this journey begins right at the beautiful crypto.com arena, and this particular day is interesting because it's 2 days before the opening of the regional connector, which will make it so I no longer have to do this ride, at least as of noon. So this is Wednesday, let's say the 14th, and the regional connector opens on the 16th. So this ride is 100% on a bike lane, but the way it is set up and the confusion, mostly by cars driving around and ignoring some of the admittedly strange rules in this area, um, will cause me also to make some odd decisions. Um, the bike lane is over here on the right, which is fine as long as there's no obstructions there. But there is a bike green light also, which, is frequently ignored by cars. So you can see here a few cars already turning right on red. You know, I mean, it is what it is at this point. So here the lane is protected again, um, which is good up until you hit an intersection, at which point you hit an intersection and it is very unpredictable whether the car is going to respect the green light or not, respect the no right on red or not. So the design of the lane itself is a little bit hairy. Now, this is I don't know, transit authority who's parked here. They always park their cars like slightly into the bike lane. This particular one was not bad, but the ride today he was sticking halfway out into the lane. So it's, if you're a car driver wondering why bikes don't use the bike lanes, well, it's for reasons like this. So the reason why that guy is going the wrong way on the bike lane is because there is no, let's say, northbound bike lane going in this way. The closest northbound bike lane is a few blocks away, and it's not particularly convenient. Um, so, we're approaching a few of these intersections that are just completely insane. So here you have a car who's trying to turn into the lane and he's blocking the bike lane. Now, what are his options? I mean, one option is to wait a little bit longer, not block the bike lane, but that's obviously not going to be something that a high percentage of people are going to do. So now we're approaching the 7th Metro Center stop. I started mostly at the Pico stop, but what happens is this is the last stop on the train until Friday. So on Friday, from here, the train will continue to the Pico Aliso station, which is my destination here, where the train kicks back up again. But as of Friday, from here to Pico Aliso, it's all going to be underground. So it will no longer be necessary for me to make this harrowing bike journey, unpredictable bike journey. I mean, a lot of times I make this bike journey and there's not too big of a problem. Now, there's always people parked in the bike lane. That's common, but what I'm going to be referring to are a few of the things that are about to happen here, which just are endlessly frustrating. Now, one of the endlessly frustrating things is, I mean, you can kind of tell here how horrible the bike lane is. All of the seams and the cracks. It's just no fun to be riding a bike on a road this bad. I mean, here you can see the just kind of insanely widening and narrowing bike lane here. Now, technically, I'm supposed to go to the right over here, but when you do that, you put yourself into a situation where you're coming out of the bike lane in an unpredictable area. It's better just to go straight. It's safer for me just to go straight. Approaching a red light like this, the good thing about this intersection is nobody's going to be going right. Well, some people will occasionally try to go right on a one-way street, but I will gently remind them that it's a one-way street. That's certainly happened a few times. So the problem you run into is at the next street where there is no right turn unless you have a right green, and that is constantly ignored. Um, so the good thing here is there's nobody parked in the bike lane. Now, you will often get people parked in the bike lane because this hotel will block off their driveway constantly, as is happening now. But we're approaching here a street that does have a right turn, and then this guy comes right in front of me and stops, which is interesting. And then the next guy tries to make a right turn right in front of me. So I had the green light, they had a red light green, or, red light on the turn there. So go figure. So I just have to kind of ignore that and keep going. Here we have a line of, what is it, 4 cars, including one going right, all of which are blocking the bike lane. That's very frequently happening here. The time here is right around 4 o'clock. There's got to be some kind of school getting out, which is what causes that traffic there. So this is some kind of upscale apartment building here, and you will get any number of people parked in the bike lane at this location. Also, here we have an Amazon truck. I mean, it would be nice to have some kind of agreement where the Amazon truck can find a place to park in the apartment. We know that you're going to need to be here at a certain time every day, but maybe it's more convenient to park in the bike lane. What can I tell you? So here is the 2nd Street tunnel here. There's occasionally debris, etc. in this area. Usually pretty clear, iconic Los Angeles, I don't know, art display, what have you. So one of the new stations is right at the end of this tunnel. It's the historic Broadway station. So this road was closed for a couple of months, and kind of surprised me when they opened the road back again and I had to deal with the oncoming traffic coming back. It was nice when they had that closed, but the beauty is I'm not going to be having to do this bike journey but for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning I'll have to do it one more time, and then in the afternoon I'll be able to take the train all the way through to East LA. So that's nice. So coming out of the tunnel here, just 1 block, let's say east of here, is the new historic Broadway stop. And going left on Hill here, and there's another bike lane. This one's going to be blocked by, probably an Uber or somebody parking. Now, downtown LA, with the addition of a few bike lanes, has made it kind of difficult for people just to pull over and figure out what they're doing, or look at a map, or God knows whatever anyone does when they pull over. But with the lack of any kind of, helpful signs, don't park here, please, this is a bike lane, etc., just made it very difficult to actually use these bike lanes. So you'll see here, there's, this car is just going to keep going. So, the law is that you yield to a bike, but far be it from me to let anyone know what the actual law might be. That said, do I follow all the laws to a T? I mean, I just feel like if I did, I might be putting myself into further danger. So this particular bike lane is the First Street bike lane. It is fairly new. It is much too narrow. I mean, you can see visually here that many of the cars are parked slightly in it, and the issue with that, if it's not obvious, is anyone opening their door is going to nail a bike rider. Now, I don't know whether this has happened or not, but it'd be surprising to me if this is not an inevitable thing to happen. So, as a bike rider, you should be really at the left edge or slightly beyond the left edge of this bike lane to avoid anyone who suddenly opens their door, or you can see these SUVs who are not parked properly anyway. Um, so as we approach whatever street this is, the 2 lane is going to merge into a right turn lane. This right lane here, it's going to confuse a whole lot of people. So I try to merge into it right around now so I don't get cut off by anyone. That will sometimes cause a problem with the car trying to cut me off into the right turn lane, I guess. They're speeding into a red light, basically. You can kind of see how giddy I am at the prospect very soon of not having to do this anymore. So there's, this was a particularly hairy ride on this day. So this is, it should be a very slow speed spot, but you've got this van up ahead of me who's driving very strangely, and I kind of predicted he was about to do that. But, it's not always that obvious that that's going to happen. So, so you can really see the little Tokyo stop here. So, this one used to be on the other side of the street at street level, but this one is an underground station. And then we're not very far from the Pico Aliso station, which is where the train comes up above ground. So it's going to be completely unnecessary. I don't know that I'm never going to ride a bike downtown again, but I wouldn't recommend it. Certainly wouldn't recommend it to anyone who doesn't know exactly what they're doing and know exactly where they're going and what all the pitfalls are. This is another fairly new bike lane here on First Street. So on the left there is the new Little Tokyo parking lot for the station. This asphalt is in quite horrible condition. It's no fun to ride on. And then here it's new. So hopefully what they're planning to do is they're planning to reinstall all this asphalt, which, up until about this spot is in horrible condition. Then on the bridge, it's really bad. So the other thing that would be nice here would be some kind of bollards, because you have cars just flagrantly using the bike lane as an extra lane, not even a right turn lane, but just an extra lane. So this is the First Street Bridge. This is the eastbound section, which is really horrible in a number of ways. You can kind of get an idea of how bad the asphalt is. There used to be a very large crack here, which you can see has been repaired with some good asphalt. Not here, but coming up soon. It used to be a very this one here. So after they fixed that, it got a little bit better, but it's very narrow. Cars are going way too fast on this bridge. It'd be nice to get a 25 mile an hour bridge here. Not that anyone would actually follow the speed limit, but an act of goodwill towards pedestrians, etc. So the westbound side, the other side of this bridge, is a lot better of a bike lane. So you will have people going the wrong way down it, but there's a reason why. It's because there are bollards that are plastic, but it's much better than just having a painted line between you and a speeding car. So I've arrived here at almost arrived at the Pico Aliso station. Tomorrow is when this thing opens, so it'll be great.